Hello. I'm doing a live for all the members, and people can ask questions. The readings are going to be like open, and when a super chat comes in, those take priority. Like I see those. It's just no matter how I try, I always end up seeing those, and then I feel guilty if I don't do them. So it's like I just might as well acknowledge that. Let's see. I was gonna get the other thing. Oh. Okay. This one has a short plug. Okay. Hello from Arizona. How are you? Hello. I know people come in, and so I usually have to repeat myself a lot of times because people don't know. But actually, I probably comment one. Hello. So this is a live for all subscribers. I know I've been doing lives on the for the members of my membership thing through here since November of 2021. But I did them on a thing off of YouTube. Then I came back to YouTube in June, and I was doing them unlisted. So nobody even knew that they were happening. I just recently figured out how to do it with like, oh, subscribers, can see it, but like members can pay. So that's $4.99, and that's every Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month. And then the other channel is $2.99 for every first Thursday of the month for the same thing at the same time. But then this one is for all the subscribers. Super chat just naturally always gets seen. You know what I mean? Like I always get seen. I see it. It's like, oh, they donated. I feel bad. So those will be priority ones, but I will take others. And yeah, I know it's been a while. Lives kick my ass, and since I got Lyme disease, and that's kind of like what happened to me. It was like, oh, my brain doesn't work and my body doesn't work, and it's just gonna be all, and nobody has it the same. No two people have it the same. No two people cure it the same. There's like no two things are the same with it. So it's like no matter what. And then the ones that do cure it keep it behind a paywall. So they're like, oh, blah blah blah. If I ever fucking cure it, I'd be like, hey, this is what I did. You're the best. You got this. Thank you. I've been working on it with a lot of different attempts or approaches, but the one thing I didn't do was my fucking, my own stuff. Like, I was like, ALCYONE light healing? Let me quit doing that. Hello, Bridget. Looking gorgeous as ever. An ace. Thank you. Lovely. What does that mean? 818 insights. Is that like is that one of those things? I don't know. Like, I look at, when I see 8:08 on the clock, I say Bob o'clock. So it's like Bib o'clock. Bib insights. What? No, you're not coming up here. I want to sit down, please, because my feet hurt, and I don't want you up here, because then she's going to want to come up here, he's going to want to come up here, she's going to want to come up here. No. No, 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 no. I need the seat. No. Stop. Please stop. ALCYONE and Sirius are both here, and they're my star puppies. It's my area code. Oh, okay. When I first had my first Gmail, it was one that they gave to me. Oh, nice to see you too. And it had numbers in it that they just gave to me. I didn't know the numbers, but it ended up being my fucking numbers for my numerology, because when I did a numerology report back then, the person even messaged me. It was one of those things you send to and they send it back, and she was like, do you know that your numbers match up? Because I had 959. She's like, that's your life path and your soul urge and your and I was like, I don't know. But it was weird because it was a Google assigned one, and 959 meant nothing to me at the time. But it was when I was waking up and every fucking thing was synchronistically which it still is to this day. I don't know why it would surprise me. But it was one of the first times that I was like, oh, it's weird. But that's the weird shit that just happens nonstop now. everything is coded. It's like a fucking matrix system. And like I have some weird shit with Nikola Tesla every time I turn around. Today it was, he had something written up about people, they don't die, they turn into light. I've been saying this for a while. I'm like, I think we're going to turn into light this time. I don't think it's what they think. I think it's going to be light. And I've said it to quite a few people. You activate your luminous energy field in the fucking Munay Ki rites. And I'm like, we're going to light. And I'm like, oh my God. Because it's just weird random shit that he says all the time. And I say it too. I'm going to pull this up over here so I can see people's questions. So if you're just coming in, basically this is for everybody that's, you know, doesn't get to do it when I do the member ones, which I know I've been doing the membership ones since November of 2021, and I did them every week, like every month religiously on the first week of the month. I do Tuesday, and then I came back here in June, but I was doing it unlisted, so nobody could see them to even know that it's like actual thing that happens, and people can submit their questions to it and like, you know, watch it later or whatever. But that's what that is. When if you ever see it and you're like, why can't I comment? It's for the subscribers. And then there's one on the other channel on Thursday nights, first Thursday, same time, and it's $2.99 a month for that one. All right, okay. See, we got some stuffs in here. So they saw, hi, can you do a check-in for my DM? We've had no communication in a while. Things were going well before, and I'm considering moving back to my home city, but part of me thinks I only want to as avoidance. Yeah, so aren't we fucking weird people who are like, I really like this guy, but fuck him, I'm gonna move. The more that I think, like, the longer you go into the journey or whatever, like if you're really dealing with that, you see like the weirdness within it, and you recognize in yourself the things that you do, that they do, that you mirror, and it's like, oh shit, I'm a fucking, we're totally aware at this point of our self-sabotage, but we know that we've got to like work on it. So in that case, like this is where I've been lately, is like subconscious, okay? Whatever the subconscious is believing is going to force you to do it. So, you know, Ace of Pentacles is here. It's like, you could probably have a value to start wherever you want to go, really. Like if you want to stay where you are and be with him, you can make that happen. But if you don't like think about it in that way of like, I can have that, or you have a belief in there like that's not possible, or I should just run away, like you're like, can I have a check-in with him? Things are going good, but I'm thinking about moving. Like, is he there? Like, where is he that you're thinking about moving? You missed my meditations? Oh, I have them on the other channel. I posted a couple recently. The Divine Essentials channels where I teach ALCYONE light healing. I have my Munay Ki rites, and then I have just like random, all different types of meditations. And the next one I was gonna do yesterday, but I slept all day and past midnight, so that one will probably be done maybe tonight. It's the being a conduit one. The only thing that's not free in ALCYONE light healing is activations, and they're like $5, and they're basically like my meditations, but they're like activation ones. But they have that same guided thing to it. Where we see, I like your hair down, very beautiful. I listen to them a lot. I appreciate them all. Thank you. I really like that tarot deck. Yeah, I like this. This is the Star Tarot. All right, so the Ten of Wands, like, again, you could be the person that creates burden for yourself or clears the burdens for yourself. You got the Emperor here, so I feel like he may also have his own burdens and his own things that left him as that wounded warrior. I don't know if he's been like the playboy with you, in and out, kind of back and forth. Like you think you're going to get your wishes fulfilled, but then all of a sudden he closes up and runs off, and so that doesn't happen. And if that's the case, it's like you're not really having a balanced give and take. No matter how hard you work on yourself, it's like sometimes you're still waiting and waiting and waiting. But those cycles do end up closing when we figure things out and we step up to that next level. So you can have victory within all of the things that you do and receive romantic, you know, gestures, healed communication, destiny moving in the right direction. But again, you are the creator of your destiny. So if you have fear surrounding it, you will probably mess up, like when it comes to working together in some way or another, or you perceive it in some way or another because it's your belief more than it is your actions. So if your belief believes that like, I'm not worthy of this, and if I stay right here, that's where it's headed, so let me mess that up real quick, let me do something crazy, to blow my chance with this new beginning, to cause confusion where there should be clarity, or to cause miscommunication, or just make a decision in myself or with this person that kind of blocks the love. And if not, like he may be doing that, and so if you've healed those things and you're working on yourself and you're feeling happy and content with yourself and you're thinking the positive thoughts and you're all like aligned in all of that, then he may want to come communicate with you, but he may still need to take a next level commitment to himself before he can bring you justice. And you're the one that will know that, because that's how the journey goes. It's like you wake up, you figure this out, they wake up, they figure this out, you know, to different degrees. Some of them have a spiritual awakening. I feel like most of them are going to have a spiritual awakening, just because that's what I've seen is like a spiritual awakening. It's like it goes hand in hand, because they're going to get bombarded with the shit too, like the 111s and the fucking weird things. And that was one of the first questions my person asked me, was like, what the fuck is this? Because I had been seeing them nonstop one day, and I had like posted them in a row, like when I saw them, and they were like, what is that? And I was like, oh, that's like the awakening number, and some people connect it to twin flames. But it told me, like, if he's asking what it is, he's obviously probably, you know, he was at least seeing them, because I was sharing mine, so I know he was seeing those ones. But then I got that confirmed later, that he does see the numbers, he does get the fucking weird synchronicities, he does get the memes and the fucking things that, you know, cause us to have a rebirth. But there's levels too, so it's like you're not going to just go through one death and rebirth or one awakening. Usually we have our awakening, then we have the dark night of the soul, then we have another awakening, or like little side fucking quest where we, you know, like me with the crystals, or me with the cards, or me with some fucking weird thing. It's like we get levels that go into it, and there's conflict that causes things, and towers to tear down what's not working. So you said it was going good. Was there something that ended what was going good, or is it still going good? Because if it's still going good, then you probably, you know, moving, oh, it depends where you're moving. Are you moving closer or moving farther away? If you're moving farther away, then that would probably be like, all right, I'm running away from what's going good. Then yeah, I'm probably, you know, avoiding something. Or if it's not been going good, you could be avoiding the like cleanup that needs to happen, because it doesn't matter where the fuck you're located, you're probably still going to care about him the same. If it's a twin, if you feel that it, you know, you have that deep bond, it's a fated thing, like, you know, there's like a higher judgment to it. It's like you don't get the choice to walk away. Like, you may want to, you may try to, but it's like you keep coming back to it. And when you see their birthday on the clock or a license plates, pretty sure the same thing happens to them. Yeah, I think they get their own versions of it, but hi Martha, there's free ones, and then some people, the things that go like the super chat ones, I always see those, so those take priority, but I will, you know, try to mix it up and grab others that come in. But yeah, do you have anything else going on, like in that? Oh no, I know you, so hold on, I know your story. All right, so you travel around a lot. I feel like that could, because you, okay, now that I know it's you, sorry, I'm like you travel, and I know that when you travel, sometimes that triggers him because there's like a safety. Okay, like you get far enough away and it's like it tricks something off in him. You got like a fucking security system built into him. Okay, that could set up a belief in you that's like, maybe if I move over here, that's gonna be like a ding 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 ding, and like make him fucking, you know, do a quest across the country to come get me. But it could also be what I said, like that fucking, you know, belief system in there, like what, you know. I know you guys have had good, and then you don't have good, and then you have good, and then you don't have good, and then even when it's not good, he's still connected energetically. But I think that's why when you go at a far enough distance, he fucking connects to you. It's like you cause a tower for him, triggers him, which that's the point of this journey, is to trigger the triggers, to heal the triggers. But we're not like, we don't want to be like, oh, let me intentionally be an asshole or intentionally do things. We want to do things just because. And I'm not saying you're being an asshole for moving or anything like that, but like, Like if he was like, I'm gonna, intentionally call her up and break her heart, like that's not what we're doing. But if you feel like something inside of yourself that like, would you be broken by that? Because again, they're your mirror. So it's like, it's a weird fucking funhouse situation, but you gotta like take them into consideration too about what your actions are and all of that. And it sucks because it's like, I'm not even with them. What do I fucking care? But you do care. So it's like, you might as well just acknowledge that because you fucking do care. And if you do care, you're going to take people into consideration when you care about them. But it doesn't mean that you don't put yourself into consideration either. However, if you're energetically tied to somebody that's going to fucking like break them down into a billion pieces or something, your care should override that. And that should be enough to let us know, like, I don't want to do that. So you could experiment in that way of like, I'm gonna go over there and see what the fuck he does, see if he comes and gets me, see if it fucking triggers him into coming to get me. But it's probably not the healthy route. There's probably something he's believing that makes him think that he's not worthy to just have you, or there's something he's believing like you're safer when you're farther away, which is an avoidancy thing. If you have an avoidant attachment style, that's what he's gonna do. And I think that there are feminines out there that there's two avoidants involved, or there's an avoidant and a fearful avoidant, which a fearful avoidant leans both ways. I'm a fearful avoidant, so if there's an avoidant person in my life, I'm more anxious usually. If there's an anxious person, I'm like, fuck you, get away from me, I don't talk to you. And it's just a natural thing. And sometimes it bounces back and forth, but the twins usually bring out the shit in us that needs to heal. So if you've got avoidancy issues, if you shut down with communication, if you have a tendency to like not talk about your feelings, if things were kind of weird as a kid when like we just joked that off, we laughed that off, or we didn't approach it like, like healthy communication style wasn't always present, and that's nobody's fault. And even just weird random shit that we hear for the first 7 years of our lives can just fuck us up. And they lie to us the whole time. So finding your strength to go within to the mind and figure out what those karmic beliefs are, what are causing the anxiety, what's causing the illusion, is the key to healing your partnerships, is the key to healing and having a new beginning with somebody, taking the leap of faith that leads to celebration. And it does require hard work, but your 10 of Pentacles ultimate fulfillment is there. Your Ace of Pentacles start, that valuable new start, is there, but you need to reflect on what really is it that I value and do your own inner work on beliefs, because it is a slow go, and it's like we're going to keep triggering each other. Each time you come together, you go good for a little while, then you probably trigger another level. If two people could get to the point where they're mature enough to recognize that and be like, oh, we're triggering each other right now, let's work on the thing that's caused by, or figure this out together, that's a lot easier, and you can kind of bypass that and transmute that shit so nobody has to feel rejected, because they reject themselves in rejecting you, and vice versa. And they hurt too when we hurt, and like we do things that we don't even know that we're doing that cause things, or we miscommunicate, or we play games or some way, but it's like we're not even playing games, it's just self-preservation sometimes. But self-preservation comes out of being hurt or being mistreated. And the only way we can overcome that is to make the decisions that back that up, of like, okay, I want emotional fulfillment. I'm going to learn my lesson. I don't want to be the wounded warrior. I'm dropping these burdens, and I'm going to balance myself out so that an emperor can come to me, and instead of running from me, we can work together to move things forward quickly. And I'm only taking valuable offers from them. But, we're like, try to communicate and share things, when you do, if you're on good level, like talking to each other right now, share him things that can help him, even if he isn't like totally. I wait until people ask me like for stuff or mention things, like my person has done a lot of like different things. Like when I posted new meditations, they'd want those, like they've done like the rites and stuff like that. But if you can find the right thing, like the right healer or the right person that can help them, that's going to help him with his emotions. Or just even like, I don't know if you've told him about like attachment theory and all of that, like just, and don't have to approach it like there's something wrong with you. Just like, hey, there's this thing called attachment theory, and it's like everybody in the world has it. Doesn't matter who they are. They have a quiz even. You can figure out which one's you. Like even if you just knocked that information into his park, he may be able to be like, oh, that's because like it's just self-exploration that helps people to heal, either through meditation or through, like coming together and helping each other out, celebrating together, like figuring out, oh, that's your fucked up belief. Well, that's not good because that's going to fuck up everything. If you want a solid foundation and you want unconditional love and passion, you got to have healthy boundaries, and you can stop breaking each other's hearts. You can stop being guarded and playing games, or, you know, self-preservation mode, which is like what everybody's doing. Everybody's afraid of the other person hurting them, so they're like, I'm going to hurt you first. Ha. And sometimes they do it without even realizing it, but it's your mirror too, so they're going to mirror you, you know, or they're going to feel similar ways and have similar triggers, but we're usually so busy on our side feeling what we're feeling that we don't always see on the other side what they're feeling. And sometimes it takes outside people to like let us know, or just there's a practice that you can do that actually will help people too, like in general, like go take some deep breaths and imagine yourself like in a meeting room with this person, your person sitting across from you, and just take a look at them and see how they are, and just try to feel and like notice like what is their energy towards you and what is your energy towards them. Is there anything inside of you that you're holding on to, or anything that's going on anywhere that like you just comes to mind? Because whatever the fuck comes to mind is gonna be like a thing. And then go up and out of your body and look down at the situation and observe it from outside of either one of you, if you can do that. And then put yourself into his shoes and just observe you without, you know, from himself, and then observe yourself as him, and literally go through that exercise and just see what comes up, or what type of thing you're projecting into his mind, what thing you're projecting into your mind, what thing are you like. And trust your intuition, because that's going to know too. But the subconscious is in control of 95% of the day that we live and the things that we do. So if you do that stuff, you can kind of figure it out, and you can shift it and like come to an agreement with that version of them. And visualization, doing that type of stuff, it does help to create your reality if that's supposed to happen. Like you can't force free will, but if somebody's free will is aligned to want to make things work with you, and you can shift the frequency around that to make those types of communications happen on some level. You can write it in a book, you know, like write them a letter, like, I'm sorry for this, and this is how I feel, and transmute that, because we're free spirits. We're here to love and enjoy freely. The trauma and pain we overcome will help other people, and we will find peace with our twin flames, but we've got to do the deeper inner like soul level work and the oceanic like emotional level work. And if we can recognize within ourselves that we've got some emotional stuff that we have a tendency to maybe avoid or whatever, it's like a lot of times people ask me questions, they answer the question in the question. They're like, am I just avoiding it? It's like, why are you asking? You already know. Why you wouldn't word it that way if you didn't actually believe that or feel that. Like that's obviously there inside of your mind for a reason. So, you know, and even if it isn't, you've written it down, you've acknowledged it, you've put it out there, so your subconscious is aware of it. So somewhere there's going to be that belief impacting you, regardless if you consciously believe that or not. You've created that into this reality right now, so you want to be aware of that and like rewrite your situation. Don't affirm that, don't talk about that, you know, be aware, like, I'm healing these resentments, I'm rewriting my reality, shifting that frequency so a better outcome can manifest. And I don't, you know, get rid of your sadness, like I am happy, and really affirm those things so that you can start feeling that way. Focus on gratitude. I'm so happy I have a twin flame that I love unconditionally, and I know loves me unconditionally. We're just working on transformation. We're working on becoming our higher selves. You know, we're working on healing from these bad times that we've had, and I'm figuring out my boundaries in a healthy way. I don't want to be avoidant. I don't want to be an emotional roller coaster. I just want to make my wishes come true and be their wish come true. And I need to do the hard work that requires so that I can get through the fucking 501 conflict bullshit and the chaos up in my mind, that anxiety, the sleepless nights, astral traveling. Even if you're asleep, you're astral traveling. You're never fucking just resting. But you're a divine feminine, so cycle of rebirth is here. Pay attention to your dreams, because I think you are probably doing a lot in them, in the subconscious mind where the dreams are. Those dreams will tell you a lot about your beliefs and what you're thinking and what you're really wanting, not just like what we want to believe that we want, you know, because like something could be bad for us and we're like, oh, I shouldn't want that, but not wanting it and shouldn't want it are two different things. Because if we still want it, even though we know we shouldn't want it, we got to work on that and be like, why would I want that? Or like, you know, how can I heal whatever it is around that's bringing that to me? Why is somebody feeling it's okay to do that to me? Or why am I even perceiving that as that? Maybe that's not even what that fucking is. So beliefs are really important, for sure. Okay. Chisa. I don't know what you're actually, like, I've seen your name, so, okay, here it is. Hey, sis, could you do a check-in on me and my DM, Steve? Does he feel romantic feelings for me? Will we be a couple? We live together, and so far it feels platonic because of obstacles in his family. Okay. I really like that tarot deck. Okay. And not approving of our age differences. I'm sorry, although I didn't know how to add this request to the money I sent. I hope that's helps you, sis. Thank you. It's okay. It feels like you're living in his mom's reality. We are true twin flame and we live together. Okay. And anywhere else? This platonic stuff's driving me nuts. I'm healing myself. And I can tell that he does love me and doesn't want to lose me. He won't lose me. And then I have trouble expressing my feelings in the past, and he does actually me in the physical to express my feelings. He doesn't. Very, very true. When I'm hurt, I've seen how my DM is hurt and vice versa. So, okay. So you're living together. There's a difference in age. You're living with his parents? I think that's what I'm getting out of that, because like they're such a big input on it. But you've been more platonic than romantic. Was there any romantic time that you guys had, or in the beginning? Because I know sometimes people go through that bubble phase or that beginning, like, oh my god, I love you so much, you're amazing, and then sometimes people get fucking afraid and freak out, and they don't want to like work together with it. But the King of Cups is here, so I feel like there is a deep emotion, but there's been an due to fear. Okay, this could have been something that like your fears manifesting into that like behavior of him not being as open, or him, you know, kind of sabotaging things, or just not treating you as a equal balance, you know, thing. The King of Pentacles he's solid, committed, stable, loyal, and all of that, but I feel like you kind of have that part of it. Like if you're living together, like is he seeing other people? Is he just like insecure? Is there value and worth work that you guys maybe need to do? So maybe he feels insecure because he's living with his parents and he's like doesn't have all he needs maybe to provide to a woman in the way that he may feel like he should, if it's like a soul connection on a deep level. With the Hierophant, this is the next level commitment. Like I feel like maybe he feels like he needs to go slow in order to get to that place where he feels like he's providing more. Me and him and my DM and my dad live together, and his mom visits us. Okay. So does he pay any like money towards living with you, or is he just like living with you? And no, me and him live together. Okay. How long have you guys been living together? I see some devil energy here, so I feel like whatever the karmic energy is here, like this could be belief systems, this could be like just like the fears that he has, this could be exes that he hasn't like cleared, you know, just like his feelings for. Maybe he's not with anybody or seeing anybody or anything like that, but he could still have like healing to do from a past relationship that fucked him up in the head, or wasn't balanced. You know, sometimes we have like wounds. He takes me on dates, 2 years living. Okay, so what is the problem that he has? Like just like not the physical part really happening is what you are kind of wondering. I feel like he is passionate about you, but maybe, I don't know, maybe with your dad around, he may get nervous or something. He seems to have romantic feelings for you. maybe he's afraid of like giving a bad performance. Like there's that. People get like bad performance anxiety, and then they like, yeah, we aren't intimate anymore. Okay, so is he an avoidant person? Like, does he have the other characteristics of somebody that's like an avoidant person? Because sometimes they do that, like halfway in, like after 2 years, they just stop like having sex. It's like a normal, not a normal thing, but it's a thing that happens with them for some reason. But there is healing that can occur to get back to like being happy. It's almost like it's a part of their mechanisms where they're like, I don't need anybody, or their tendency to close away from people because they're more mental people. They're not like touchy-feely, lovey-dovey stuff. Some of them like that and want that, and some of them are more into that. Like they might have a softer core of something. It depends on where they picked up their energy from. His sister lives here too, and she is against our age, and he might be, I'm not sure. Okay. There's a woman called, she's on YouTube. She's I can't think of the name. It's like the personal something school. It's like for people like in relationships, and it helps people to figure out what their attachment style is. And then there's like things that like give you indicators on how to work on them. I love your work. Thank you. We'll read that in 1 minute. Let me look at this because I want to. It's a good lady. If other people want to see her. Personal development. Personal development school is the name of it. I just had to like pretend like I was gonna look. Personal development school. She does like tons of videos. There's ones that like profile the different things. So there's dismissive avoidant. There's fearful avoidant. There's anxiously attached, and then like normal attached and like healthy. You know, not codependent or not like running away from it or not like I need you type of energy. And they usually are formed within like the first fucking like 36 months of our lives, but they can change if we go through bad breakups or like our home life wasn't very steady, or one of our parents wasn't like emotionally available or showed us and things that were not based out of the best beliefs, or made us feel like we suck, we're bad children, or we don't deserve love, or you suck, you ruined my life type of stuff. And they may not have even really meant it, or you may have dismissed some of that like as a child, not meaning you specifically. This is how people have this happen. It can be very subtle, but it is on the subconscious level. And when it will cause us to have painful endings, it will cause us to need to heal, it will cause karmic imbalances, it will cause things like you're saying, like not sleeping together, keeping it from having an emotional healing in like a fulfilling end. And the belief around the age is obviously bothering them. That's probably weighing on him in some way. If his whole family is like against it, he's probably letting it impact him. So he may be distancing himself because of that belief of this is wrong. He may not think it's wrong, but his inner mind may think and believe that it's wrong. And if that's the case, he's going to act like that's wrong. And he may not understand it, you may not understand it, but if you clear that belief out, he'll be able to act like you're fine. Like, because I don't think he actually wants to believe that. I think it was informed to him before he was 7 years old on some level. And if you just do like theta healing or a meditation to go back, you can usually clear those types of things out. But you'd have to talk to him and be like, hey, let's do some belief work. Let's see what our big bad, blocks are. Everybody has them. It's not like we're zeroing him out or singling him out to, do it. It's like, hey, let's just have a transformation of that fucked up belief that you adopted when you were like 6. It could be from a neighbor, it could be from a bus driver, it could be from anybody. But to move on from that allows people to be better and to feel better and to do better and to have better and to like, be able to reflect without having some horrible end result. So I definitely feel like it's beliefs. This is my shitty belief card, and this too. It's like you need to have better boundaries with our own beliefs a lot of times, because we will sabotage ourselves from like our happy ever after if that's in there on any level, and it's usually there, especially if you haven't specifically done the belief work. Yeah, this is manipulated. So I feel like he was manipulated by somebody in his family, and it's not like they wanted to do it. It's just what happens when people, grow up in their lives. So I feel like he's not really fulfilled right now either. He's not happy about this, but you have the strength that's needed. There is a storm warning, so just be careful the way that you approach it. Don't be like, yo, blah 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 blah, because that's just gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong? No, I don't like. People will be defensive if you can explain it to him in a way that's like he wants to open that door to allow that healing. And be careful of the family, because their betrayal, like their envy or their anger or their fucking daggers at people, can cause others to have issues. We can get all screwed up, even if somebody's like missing us or whatever. If somebody's obsessed enough with hurting us or betraying us in some way, doesn't have to be our specific person. If we don't clear out those demons that are sent our way, they will mess up. And so he may want to be nurtured by you and feel like you're so tempting, but deep inside he's like fighting himself. He's like, I've got all these inner demons, nobody understands me. I'm grasping, I don't know what to do, I feel like I'm no good, I'm toxic. So you got to strip the feminine and masculine beliefs, but the masculine's beliefs around the feminine, so that he can be okay with the commitment and not feel like he's betraying his family and all of that. So I definitely would do some belief work, but just be very careful and have patience, if he's not like wicked open to it immediately. And again, it's all in the approach with this stuff. It's never good to just walk up to someone and be like, yo, what's up, motherfucker? You got a bad brain and you're thinking all these stupid thoughts and it's your fault. And, people just take it that way. If we don't say it, you don't ever want to go to somebody and be like, you, okay? So it's like, first of all, I feel like there's just been some weirdness with us. And I don't know. I've been looking into different things to figure out myself, to do some healing work for myself and my beliefs and all the things that I have going on. And I found it really interesting, and I just wanted to share the information with you. I just think it's really cool. Can you believe that this was this? Find something out about yourself that you can share with him, and see if it sparks his interest. Because if it does, then you can, introduce it easy, make little waves at a time, and then then do the transformational work and help him to get those seeds planted and growing. It doesn't happen overnight sometimes. Sometimes it happens very quickly, and you're living together, so you have, a good way of bringing that integrity into it, and not causing too big of a ruckus with him right out the gate. All right, so, live chat. Where is it? There it is. Okay. All right. LOL. It's weird that his mom supports us as just friends. I could try that. He knows that I self-heal with meditations, and he loves binaural beats. Yeah, do one of those, a binaural, guided thing that's works on belief specifically. Theta healing, belief work, subconscious reprogramming. You type those things into the YouTube, a lot of things will pop back. What's his name? Joe Dispenza does good ones. There's a lot, and there are breathing techniques too that help that stuff. All right, so let me get up here and see. I know I had Alejandra, I had Shisa, I had why are you so nervous? I don't know. It's hard to go live and do that. All right, Sean McGraw, 1111, Marsha Tang, 299. Did you have a question for the cards, Sean? And then Marsha, where was Marsha? Marsha, did you have a question for your super chat? I'm gonna go. Oh, love your work. Confused about my friend Lover DM. We both need to do inner work, so I ended it. But can you clarify? Was it in the right decision to bring reconciliation later in a healthy union? Okay. And then I will do a couple people that aren't that didn't do a payment to. I just want to keep an eye on them, make sure I don't miss anybody. So I'll do lovely 818 and then another after that. But Marcia is asking about a friend lover DM. So we both need to do inner work, so I ended it. But can you clarify, was that the right decision and bring reconciliation later in a healing union? Probably. Ah! Oh my god! What the fuck? Where did you come from? I hate these fucking things. It's a stink bug, and they they're not as bad as they were like a couple of years ago. There were so fucking many of them. Earlier, I thought that there was something on me, and I flung it, and I'm like, oh, it's just my hair. And then I did it again a few minutes later, and it was something, and I'm like, ah, and I think it was him, because there's really not, I don't have massive amounts of fucking little bugs, but I don't like them. And they're fucking horrible, because you can't just, squish them or anything like that. You just go near them the wrong way, they smell. There was one year they fucking came and just were everywhere, and it was all over the side of the house. They came from across the sea. Somebody brought them here on a fucking plane, and I saw a video where they tell you how to get rid of them. You got to catch them in a trap, and then da 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 da. But the lady was like, I don't know who brought them here, but she's ready to kill them. Kept bringing up her desire to murder that person. Alright, so was it the right thing? I had the Five of Swords with the Temperance card, but I kind of got thrown off from that. I feel like they're no. He does miss the way you taste, those soft lips on the face, warm embrace, everything you gave desire. He's haunted by the past and his own inner darkness. I feel like he thinks I feel like he desires you, yeah, but he's got a lot of guilt and shame. He feels like he did something wrong, so he's haunted by things. He's like, oh man, I made a fool of myself. I think he may have taken it more personally and felt like I'm the unhealthy, need help one, and she's just being nice. You know what I mean? Because you're I ended it so we could both heal, but I feel like he thinks that in his head he may feel like that's there's just an excuse, oh, it's me, not you type of thing, but just instead making it oh, but it's both of us. You know how people are, just think about yourself, if the doubt is there in any level, if we can have the doubt, usually we're gonna, and some people hang on to it and some people don't, and some people are smarter, no, that's not it, it's literally this, and some people are just really feeling that. And then again, if you have some sort of belief that would make it so that something played out in a certain way, he would mirror that back to you. So you may have a belief, I said this the other day, I feel like one of the detriments to our community and to our people and to everybody is constantly thinking that their healing is never done and things like that, or that we've got to do some big major thing to be able to be with another person, and that's not the case either. It's we can be independent and we can be healthy and we can, do normal stuff and have normal lives and just be integrity, be trying to do the right thing. If we try to do the right thing and we're focused on having that and being that, then it's usually not that fucking hard. But yeah, we might have a dark past, but if we let the dark past tell us that we're dark, or that we're just going to keep doing that, or there's something wrong with us that we need to fix, that's going to remain. So we've got to stop telling ourselves that, really, and just find the beliefs that are hindering us the most. What's the biggest motherfucking belief? Clear that one, and then work on the next ones, and then keep going. And but also work on the affirmations of I am healed, I am good, I am in the best aligned version of myself that I could possibly be, I am transformed, I am a better person. you know, like I've been hurt before, so I might, you know, have a tendency to get a little fucked up at times, or I might, you know, do things that I need to say I'm sorry for. But if I'm working on myself and I have that strength, you know, I can overcome it instead of being like, I can't do what's right. If I keep telling myself I can't seem to do what's right, I'm not going to do what's right. I'm going to keep lying. I'm going to keep doing the hostile game bullshit, tit tap, back and forth, and make more of a fool of myself when I believe that I'm a fool. Like my sister always tells me, I'm wicked clumsy, boo, 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 boo. So she's clumsy. It's pretty like self-fulfilling with a lot of us, and we don't realize it. But look, I've been lying to myself, but deceiving myself. We have the wisdom to see that, and also take the responsibility and not like super bypass it all. Like, oh, I'm just going to bypass all. Like if there's trauma, we probably need to heal the trauma. If there's karma things that are like in there really deep, we need to, you know, figure that out. But in the meantime, we don't have to like own it. And when we do catch ourselves owning it, like look at that as the clue to know, okay, if I don't want to keep self-sabotaging myself, I need to, you know, figure out the answer here and reprogram that so I can surprise myself and everybody when I do have the strength to break free and not be codependent or not be imbalanced or not get my abundance or be like somebody all a string on a puppet, like wishing I made a better decision, always in remorse. That's how the world wants us to be, you know, and it's hard, and it's like we need to remember every day, like to reinform ourselves and to wake up and be like, no, don't plug into that fucking place, because that fucking place makes me feel inadequate and stupid and ugly and hostile and jealous and fucking poor and miserable, and like I'm gonna be dead any day because the whole world is trying to kill me. Like all this shit that makes the sun fucking gloomy. Again, envy and greed. The people out there that are full of this shit, they fuck it up for everybody else because they can't see beyond themselves. Like the blossom in abundance is there when we share and we're loving and we give, and we're not like always coming from, you know, me, or just hearing what we want to hear, you know, or loving to our own demise, because we can love unconditionally, but that doesn't mean that we love everything that person fucking does unconditionally. You know, people will respect us when we respect ourselves. We'll have caring connections when we care about ourselves. But it's hard to care about ourselves or respect ourselves when we believe that there's like big fucking storms inside of us that are gonna never be better, and that we're always healing and that we're never done. Like those are things I was thinking in the past, like, oh, we're always healing, we're never done. And I took it as a healer to say to people, I liked it, because being a fucking healer is not always easy. Telling somebody when they've got something to heal, because they're like, the ego pops up and they're like, fuck you. It depends on the person, but when you blow, like it's a lesser blow when you're like, oh, but we're all broken and we're all always healing. It like not only lightens it for my ego, but it lightens it for their ego, and it you know, it's like, oh, it's okay, like, you know, that's just how this world is. We're always going to be fucked up, you know. These attachments are totally part of the package, but it's really not. We just take it and make it part of the package because there's some people that benefit from that being part of the fucking package rather than these happy families. So they make us feel greed and envy and lust and fucking badness. And even lust, like they make you think that lust, like you can have sex and have passion. Like what do you, so I keep hearing people that had like an upbringing where it was like, oh no, like sex was bad. Like you're not supposed to be like enjoying sex. Or like having feelings and emotions and desires, and like really, that would be kind of a fucked up situation to be like, why stay? I can see running and ghosting if you have no fucking desire for the person, but you know, then there's the people who turn their desires off or limit their desires because of those beliefs. There's a lot of shit out there that needs to be like eliminated from the mind and eliminated from the fucking collective consciousness and looked at and reprogrammed. Rest and rejuvenation meditation, clearing those contracts so that we can fucking have some victory and abundance. Because money is the root of all evil. Do you think you're gonna have a lot of fucking money if your grandmother passed that belief down to you? Or like, you know, anybody, because my mom was, oh, you live in, like, I now live in the town Duxbury, but when I was a kid, she was, oh, it's Deluxebury, they're all Deluxeburians, they all have money, they must be assholes, like she would think that, literally, because she grew up so fucking poor, but, like, that goes into your little mind, even if you're not like, oh, I believe and agree, and, you know, back that up, you can believe all the other things, but it's in there, and I know it's in there because when I moved to this town, I was like, oh my god, I moved to Deluxeberry. Like, I was like, wow, that was like a thing for me. Like, I overcame something. Like, it took strength to even be able to come to this motherfucking town. Like, because that's how deep these things go. But it doesn't have to be there forever. We don't have to block ourselves from everything that we want. We can have love. We can have romance. We can have good things that make us happy. But you know, it's like a little bit of being realistic of like, okay, well, obviously we got to clear up some of the things, but once I start like clearing up some of those things and thinking in the right way, I can bring in emotions that feel and fuel and are aligned to that right way, because what we think is what we feel, but what we believe is what we think. So it's like everybody's always all worried about what they're thinking and speaking and feeling, but like, hey, guess what? None of that motherfucking shit happens unless you have a belief to act on. So if you're believing something that makes you sad, you're going to think things that are sad. You're going to talk about sad. You're going to feel sad. You're going to cry. But if you believe something that makes you happy, you're going to think happy. You're going to speak happy. You're going to feel happy. And you're going to attract more happy. So we got to go one step deeper to get under the things. But yeah, like you going and leaving in that situation, I feel like I think we just have to trust our intuition. Like, I feel like, again, I'm going to say this too, because it's like, no matter what you do on that journey, if it's your journey, if you're meant to be together, it may delay it, it may push it off, it may fucking go on a long-ass fucking merry-go-round, but it's going to get there. You can't really fuck it up to the point where it's like, oh, that's gone forever. Maybe you could, probably, like, if you murdered him, or you know, you just cross a boundary of some sort that's like, we're not going back from that. But if it's just something simple, like taking a little break, you know, I don't think so. I feel like there is a lot of desire that's built up too. And again, that darkness, it's like, oh God, like I just have doubts, I have fears, I'm insecure, I'm afraid that you're going to see my darkness, you know, and yeah, he keeps lying to himself. And I think that's part of the problem. Him lying to himself, making him think, like him thinking all that shit, right? I'm dark, blah, 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 blah. It's going to make you look at him and see that about him. Even if you don't really, the way that he'll behave, because he thinks that you think that about him, he's going to try to fill those shoes. And you're going to look at him and not see that. You may start to, over time, like see like the imbalance, or start to see like things that are like that's not, like, he's not greedy. He's not, like, I know he's not deep down inside. I know he's not. I know he's not. I know there's something wrong. And like, you may feel it and know it and all that, but you can't make him like shift out of that until he's ready to shift out of that. He may have been manipulated by somebody. He may have issues around commitment, responsibility, or he may just have, you know, those beliefs in there that need to become healthy. But you're meant to trigger those in him. You're meant to push him to the breaking point so that he will stop lying to himself and break free from those things that make him maybe behave in a way that he's really not really feeling. He's just unfulfilled and he's doing what he thinks he's meant to be doing. But your strength inspires me. So remember that too. When you do the work and you heal the beliefs and you take the actions, they see that and they do follow you in some way. Like, it feels like, or seems like, it's like they do improve from what I've seen, but they may not feel good about where they've come from unless you help them to realize, like, it doesn't matter, you know, like sometimes they need to know that too. So that's part of the journey, is like reminding people, and like they will remind you too. I'm sure if you go back and look at things, like there's usually they have like a impact on you. The things that they say stick out in your head. The actions that were had are like always there. There's more, you know, to the fucking situation than just like passion. There's a deeper level to it. And it's like, even back when the person and I wouldn't really talk that much because of how awkward it felt and crazy and intense, it was just like, hi. It was like the 3 words that did manage to get said would like stick and ring forever, like, and impact so much around my world that it wasn't even like him doing it. It wasn't even a conscious thing, but it would always be there, like tied within it. So just, you know, be aware that you can't really mess up a divine connection. There's been things that have been unfaithful to him and you. I feel like there's probably stuff that's messed things up within this level, like intimacy, you know, not necessarily having sex, but just intimacy, not feeling isolated or alone, not being able to communicate truth, having a hard time surrendering to the desires that are had. But you guys can get there. I feel like he does want to surrender, and you can team him in a way of like just helping him figure this out, you know, without only passion, just maybe like instead of like separating, go your separate ways for the time of healing, maybe you should work together to heal and embrace both sides of it. Like, we love each other, we desire each other, why the fuck should we be away from each other? Let's just work on, like, do you want to be with me? Do I want to be with you? Do we have a good time? Do we both want to work on our fucking brains so that we don't mess each other up worse? And if we start to mess each other up worse, we fucking say it so we can work on our brains and not do that. If people could have those types of conversations, I think it would be easier sometimes. They love citrus trees, motherfuckers. Are you talking about those fucking bugs? Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell yourself you're worthy when your ego says no way. Yeah. And yeah, gotta do such and such before your DM will be around, but Tom, Dick, or Harry soulmate will show up even if you do nothing. Agreed, 100%. I'm good with where I am in my journey, but there's trauma that needs healing. I didn't want to end it, but his issues were repeatedly damaging, so I chose to love him from afar. And sometimes that's, you know, that's what you need to do in order to love yourself. So as long as you're aware of that and you're taking that level in, and you know that, like, as long as he's not abusing you and hurting you, like, if somebody's doing stuff that's, like, detrimental, then yeah, we can't keep showing up for that. But, you know, if it's, like, just two hurt people hurting each other out of, like, some weird little ego bruises and stuff, we can probably, you know, at least work on it together, or take the breaks and come back to it. But you're the only one that will know that. But I think it is important that we stop labeling ourselves as so broken. Yeah, we have trauma, but it seems like the world, like, I mean, when I was growing up, there wasn't a whole bunch of fucking people on your For You page all day telling you about your traumas and about these things and about all this stuff. And it almost makes, like, whatever you look at, whatever you interact with, whatever you fucking do on social media, they show you more of. So if you're like, oh yeah, I've got that trauma and I got that ADHD and I got that fucking depression and I got that fucking this disease and that disease, and you're like psychoanalyzing everything about yourself, you will start to be that because you believe that, and it's like ugh. But what I try to do is look for the solutions or the things that help us with that stuff, because I'm physically, like, experiencing physical signs of trauma, like manifesting and, you know, things like that. So I'm like, all right, like, I know it's probably all connected, I need to do the work with it, but I know that I've identified that, so I don't want to keep, like, watching all those things that tell me what's wrong with me. I want to keep finding the shit that's like, this is how we fix it, this is how we overcome it, and everything is beliefs. It's like it all comes back into that because we live in such a fucking crazy world. Astral travel, doing before you go to bed at night, like, listen to something that's telling you a new story. Plant the seeds in your subconscious, plant the seeds in your conscious. That's how we become a peacemaker in our lives. I've been telling people to record their own voice and you know, speak to themselves like, oh, I am so amazing, I am awesome, I am in a loving, healthy union, I am ba-ba-ba-ba. And I don't attach it to any particular person. I just leave it open to the universe to bring who is it meant to be. And whoever it's meant to be, it will be. You know, like the sexual play card keeps coming out. It's like, whoever wants to come and play, you know, whoever has that fucking courage to go after their desires, but do the works instead of just sitting around being bored and miserable. You know, that seductive energy can help people become a little bit more determined. And I really do believe, too, that with the twins, there's a lot of us that, like, you wouldn't have never fucking did half the shit if it didn't come down to them. Like, they had to make you obsessed with somebody and a weirdo for a little while before you could fucking, you know, acknowledge, I gotta do some healing. And the only reason a lot of people go to do the healing is because they're, like, desperate to heal for their person. So it's almost like it's like a thing. It's like, we're gonna fix you, but we gotta, like, you know, trigger you with this. And then as you heal enough to realize, like, either you are gonna leave that person behind, or if they really are a thing, you both heal. But either way, once you've healed enough, you'll know whether or not they're real or not, and then you just go from there. Yeah, the stinky bugs. I hate them motherfuckers. All right, so will I be okay financially? I'm waiting for work, but no luck. I don't know, it feels like I'm supposed to have a lot of money, and I don't know how or why, right? I haven't fucking, I don't know, like, everything has been crazy. I keep feeling like I need to help, like, people with that again, because that's what I used to do, is, like, to, help people build their website, set up their idea, and tell them what to do with it. But everybody's different, and there's so many different ways to make money now that it's like, it's like, I don't know, I gotta talk to you, get a feel for you and what you think you want to do and what you can do, and I could be your muse, because I got 10,000 fucking ideas and 10,000 hours of each one logged in with all the fucking shit that goes to it, because I'm weird. But I feel like you may be haunted by something that has been slowing you down from manifesting, that you need to tame, so that, there's greed. I don't think it's that you're greedy, but I think that this is what's wrong with our society right now, and why some of us are being, like, pushed to the edge with finances. It's like, that shit don't matter. It really doesn't. Like, do you have food? Do you have a warm place? Are you on a phone that you're using to look at this thing? Or are you on some sort of device that you're using to look at this right now? Like, then you're probably, really abundant, and you don't even realize it, because, like, when I was living in that basement, I didn't fucking feel abundant, okay? We lost our house on my birthday, moved into the guy that I was living with parents' house. In like the first couple of nights there, the fucking hat man came and got me, this like scary fucking shadow dude, and you can't move, you're paralyzed. He came to greet me, and I was like, oh! So I started cleaning the basement, because he told me we were going to be there for like 2 weeks. We lived there for over 4 years. There was no bathroom ceiling. The whole back wall was like all just glass doors. There was no insulation. There was no flooring. It was just like they threw like a very thin piece of carpet down. It was all shagged on the edge. Anytime you vacuumed, fucking half the fucking thing was gone. The tiles were all broken, and there was no heat. So it was always cold, and there was black mold. I literally was dying like the first year I was there. But I started doing affirmations and gratitude. And I focused on what I did have, and everything started to grow. And I started, like, putting money aside, and I started manifesting. And then, like, he had been going to fucking court for so long, but all of a sudden, he got taken in, went to jail. My dad got out of jail, like, a month later. My dad's an alcoholic. He's not, like, a murderer or an asshole. He just had alcohol problem. He came out. He's on disability, so he was like, I can help, pay part of the money towards your rent, but we can do this together. So not only that, another woman showed up in my life like right before all this happened, who owned 2 homes. That she's like, yeah, you can live in that one and in that one for like no money that would usually be costing. And then things like that were just like boom, 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 boom. And the whole time I had been with that guy, he kept telling me I would never have a place to go, especially with all my dogs. Nobody was going to let me live there. And like I couldn't afford it. And all these things that were like always in there. But I started saying, I'm grateful for the air in my lungs. I'm grateful that I ate my lunch today. I'm grateful that I have 2 feet to walk. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I'm learning this stuff. And I bartered my knowledge of website stuff and marketing and all of that to help a woman with her Reiki center. And I got my Reiki master, and I got the new paradigm. And that's where I did the Munay Ki. The Munay Ki came to me. And it just like, it all exploded, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But it was gratitude, gratefulness, and positivity, like just being like in the right thing and being in service. Then I got greedy, and I was like listening and doing those fucking pick a cards all the time, and like getting a lot of attention and a lot of money and abundance. But I wasn't feeling right inside, and it doesn't matter if you don't feel right inside. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it. Like, oh, that's not, it's okay. You weren't doing anything wrong. There was something inside of me that felt wrong, because I knew there's people watching them, shouldn't be watching them. They were lying to themselves, and I could feel that, because I fucking know. And I'm like, it's like you can't shut it off. So that greed, like, shut me down. I got bit by the tick while I was making something for this channel. Got Lyme disease, and like everything just fucking has like down. And then I started figuring it out, and like, oh, but then not only that, then I let that become my belief of like, I'm sick. And I knew it when I got bit by the tick. I was like, I don't want to get the diagnosis, because then I'm gonna own it. Just like when I was a kid and they told me I had bipolar, I owned it. And it's like I tried to kill myself. Like, just stupid shit that we believe becomes a reality. So now I'm trying to overcome those beliefs of like I'm sick and I'm in pain and I'm hurt, and it's like it's a thing we got to keep reminding ourselves. But like there's so many layers to things. Like, we really don't want to be against our integrity. It was against my integrity to do something I knew that wasn't serving people in a way that was helpful to them, because I'm a healer over a reader. So finding what you want to do that fills you up inside, that you can do every day and feel good about, can still be a lucrative thing, and you can still receive great abundance for it. But whenever something shows up in it that doesn't feel right, don't keep doing it. You'll be surprised. It's a way of self-sabotaging too, because if you're not feeling integrity with inside, or you're not feeling good about what you've done, you're not going to feel beautiful, and it's going to cause anxiety. It's going to cause imbalance. And also I was like people pleasing and shit like that. It was like I was exhausted and tired. I was not sleeping on days so that I could fucking fill orders, and just never being balanced with anything. I was being an idiot. So now I've got to be my healthy self, and obviously a healthy self isn't going to be a fucking conveyor belt of information and videos and 2 fucking channels and Instagram and this and that. So find what you're passionate about, get creative with it, be loyal to it, live in your integrity, be wild and empathic and all of that, but don't fuck yourself up, just be busy, hardworking with supportive people that value you, and you'll be fine. But if you have nerves around money, which many of us do, because the world likes to make everybody fear that you're not going to have enough, you're going to starve to death. It's very unlikely. There's like programs in place so that doesn't happen. You can't, like, most of the places in the world, like in the US anyway, are safe. Like, some people are manipulative and take advantage of the things that are set in place, but there are things set in place to protect people so that they don't die. And even if you were homeless, you wouldn't die. And even if you were homeless, it would be a choice to be homeless, because there are things out there to keep you from that. So just be loyal to yourself. But I do feel like you're going to be fine. You may feel like nobody cares about you, but you need to find something that's inspiring you and makes you feel confident and good. Like, what have you overcome in your life? Like they say, find the hero's journey in your own life. And it doesn't have to be a big, massive freaking whatever. It could be like, I left an unhealthy relationship, or I, started this thing. I was compassionate for somebody when nobody else was. Or just find what you really like to do, that you feel like you could show up to every day and be loyal to, and start doing it. But you may feel like, oh, there's nothing I could do. I started with nothing. I had no money. I had nothing. And I taught myself everything I needed to know online for free, because everything out there is what you need to know is free. You could be an energy healer. Like, that's a natural gift. You don't need to know anything for that. Like, that's in you. But yeah, you might want to do a little bit of like exploring around it, not just jump in and fucking dive on in there. All right. So, Alright, I did that one. Nothing specific. I guess I just wanted to support you. Thank you. I will just see what comes through for you. Thank you, Belle. Yeah, I hope that bug wasn't a cute. That bug wasn't a sign. There was okay, so there's those, and then there's these like little fucking ladybug ones that like are paired with them. They're from like the same place too. It's like somewhere in China. Like some dude came over here and brought these things. But they like took over our country, and they've like destroyed fucking crops and shit. But there's one right there. Look, there's a little ladybug, but it's not a ladybug. It's a false motherfucking ladybug. And when I looked it up, I was like, oh, all right. Like, I was like taking it as like false twin flame type of fucking sign. It was a couple of years ago, because a couple of years ago, it was like 2018 or 19, but it was at a time where like things were like, bleh! And I'm like, this is because it's a false fucking thing. But the stink bugs, they have like a hard exterior. They're weird, and they're surprised. They're fucking stink inside. Okay, so I have 8th house, I circulate, death and rebirth, sex, deep bonds, Scorpio, Pluto. So I feel like there's something that's going to be like transforming within your like death and rebirth cycles, like the deeper bonds that we have that are like soul ties or past life and stuff like that. This is his call on Archangel Michael to cut cords. So you may have cords to things from like Lyra or the very beginning, like the very first lives that we've had in our galaxy around here. The Lyrans were responsible for seeding the earth, and they brought a lot of transformation. But this says, spread your wings and rise into the dark, stormy skies. Trust your inner knowing and see the sunrise. So I feel like they're kind of like calling you into your shadow work, to, go into like the higher light. So every time we dive into the dark, we ascend into the light, because it's a dualistic world that we're living in. So every time we go into something that's like, oh man, we should know that we're going to come out the other side even better, because our deep wounds are like are diving into our deep healed self. Our inner world is going to reflect down on our outer world. It's like the Gemini energy. It's like there's two sides to every coin. Dualistic perspective communication, and we're not on a straight path. So sometimes we dive in, come out, dive back in, come back out. Sometimes it's like a huge cycle, like the 12th planet thing. Like we have our whole planet, all our planets, our solar system going around, and then there's supposed to be the 12th planet that does a different one. It's like this ring is going this way, this ring is going that way, and it comes around every so often. I feel like that's what like they're saying is like a deep bond is more so like that, like that comet we just had come through that hasn't been here since the fucking Stone Age. Like every once in a while they pop up, and it's like, oh, surprise. So our first impression is a lasting impression with big things like Chiron, but Chiron is more present in our lives. Not as present as Mars and Venus, though. So, and this is that wounded healer. This is us understanding our suffering and our obstacles, our past life pains, the difficulty, the lessons, the trauma, the hurt, the self-sabotage, the empathic understandings, the learning through adversity. And then Mercury is the communication, relationships, delays, messages, logic, rationale, and memory. So our communication style, our way of thinking, our way of communicating, it's very much impacted by our wounds and the things that we've had since the dawn of time, where we've come from. But you're about to come into a season of expansion. So the thing about the Lyran energy is it is very strong with manifesting. Like it can be very good, quick, boom, here it is. But it can be good or bad, depending on what they're thinking about and what they're focused on. So the Pluto is, again, another like shaker bringer. And this is about ghost, unseen, spirit, rebirth, catastrophe, major disasters, earthquakes, death, the underworld, regeneration, all of that. So I feel like there's like a death happening, but it's not like a bad, it's just like a rebirth, the Kundalini, like serpent rising, Leo with the pride energy, all of that stuff coming and rising, creativity rising. All is written in the scars on your heart, the perfect times to start coming near or apart, and all of the stuff that's like hidden in plain sight. It leaves a lasting impression that we don't even really recognize, but the light codes are helping us to awaken, seeing through the contrast, and the dark helps us see the light. Choosing wrong helps us know what was right, so the next time we won't choose that. The next time we'll be balanced within our receptive parts and our giving parts, and that will impact our partnerships. And as the planetary alignments change, it breaks up the monotony. We break up the monotony. We have our sweet desserts. Venus, which is like love, romance, sensuality. But we can create these other realities for ourselves when we look for the patterns, figure them out, and rewrite them, and find the clarity to be emotionally balanced and come out of the phases of darkness into the times of seeing clearly with the light. But we've got to be disciplined, ambitious, and persistent, so that we can do that awakening into the new paradigms. And you can connect with crystals intuitively to retrieve information. You are also a star keeper, so you have that energy of the star essence inside your veins and your DNA, which we saw with the Lyran energy. You may be steered away from your soul mission at this time, so if you do some automatic writing, you'll get messages from spirit. And then trust your inner knowing, share your sacred feminine essence. So doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, everybody has the feminine and masculine inside of them. So doing some automatic writing or meditating or whatever can help us to figure that out. And you can tap into your masculine side for clarity and confidence, the feminine side for the intuitive insights that will help us to like connect with the ones on the other side, to illuminate the darkness and to see brightly so that we can smile and be happy, get what we want, that we're focused on building something stable, you know, finding the seductive things in our lives that we like, and pairing that with compassion so our desires can manifest and we can transform with committed faithfulness to overcome the people who are unfaithful or manipulated us, and finding our muses in life, which can be other people, like each other, or it could be like ourselves, our career, but it's supposed to be healthy. We don't need anybody or anything. We just can be inspired by them, and then that helps us to have better, healthy love and empathic connections that are based out of truth, rather than wounds or, you know, weirdness. So, yeah. Past life. You get Asia coming through with past life, ancient Greece, peacemaker. You could be avoiding of conflict, afraid of physical conflict, like you're afraid that you might murder somebody because there's the murder energy with this one. So you may have killed somebody in a past life and you could be like afraid of doing that. Then there's a soulmate with codependency. There may have been that type of connection. Then there's this can only go so far, heal and grow. So if there was any codependency with somebody and it ended, it was to teach you a lesson. Carry the ancient wisdom of the shamans, the Atlantean, resentment. I feel like there may be resentment left over from a soulmate, and it's like you're here to bring peace to that situation, not fight with it. So try to forgive and just know whatever, like, even if you feel like, oh, I forgave, I'm over that, whatever, no big deal, there could be something inside of you that you're not conscious of that is still like blocking the total inner peace or the total alignment somewhere else. Some sort of resentment that's keeping the peace away. Look at that. Peace, no. Resentment, peace, no. We can't be peaceful and resentful at the same time. If we don't know that we have it, that can even be even more hard, because it's like you don't even see it. It's like a dark entity. Sometimes people send this shit too. Like if you're a twin flame, divine counterpart, you're here to fucking anchor light on the world and be like a fucking healer and do all this crazy shit with the ancient ancestors holding us up and trying to help us, karma and all that stuff. People do shit because they are fucking weird. like we attract darkness to us sometimes, not because we deserve it or anything like that, but just because we work in the light. Where there is light, there will be dark, and when there is good, there will be bad. So sometimes people get triggered by the people, you know, like I think some people are going to understand this and some people may not. I think this may even be a starseed thing, but there's some people that there's some people who experience what I'm going to say, and then there's other people that do what I'm going to say. So there's people who like you may have gotten obsessed about a twin flame at one point or something, or you may have had those like things, like it doesn't matter. I'm talking to everybody, like all the feminines, all the masculines. Like we may have had like a crush on somebody, it may have been whatever, but usually in our own minds we've made like it a bigger deal than it actually is. We haven't like behaved in a way that would like maybe be classified as crazy or something. But then like there are people out there that may have done that to you, that have acted crazy, and that's why you would criticize yourself for acting like a little bit crazy, because you may feel the feelings of that person that you identified as crazy, like that sent you 10,000 text messages, that wouldn't stop fucking messaging you, that wouldn't like take no for an answer, that was like obsessively in a bad way, that was detrimental and crossed the line. If you've had people do that to you, you may be like sensitive to thinking of yourself as like wicked, you know, oh my god, I'm being obsessive, and it's just you thinking that. Like I've had people come to my fucking stuff and I'm like, hey, why don't you try talking to that person that you like and you haven't talked to and don't see and don't follow on social media and and blah, 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 blah. Like there's no connections at all for the last 2 years. But in their head, they felt like they had already reached out to this person like 10 times in the last 2 weeks. And it's like, no, you just thought about them that much, but you didn't actually do it. And sometimes that even manifests into the energies where nobody's doing anything because the other person doesn't even know. It's like, and then there are other cases where there's people who will look for that where it's not available, where they'll try to say, oh yeah, I haven't called them, I haven't contacted them, I've been totally back here, but in reality, like, they sent like 3 emails, and like, you just didn't specify specifically what they did. And that's a hard part of this too, is like the general readings of stuff, um, that can cause confusion with people, because some people will see it one way that's totally not the right way. They haven't done shit. They there's nothing wrong with what they want to do, but they're telling themselves like, I shouldn't do that, or they come up with a reason for that to orphan themselves, to leave themselves away from what they want, based out of the beliefs or the fears or the whatever it is, or the like, I'm insecure, I don't think they're gonna like me, or I've got a fucking dark entity attached to me that makes everything fucked up in my life. I don't know. But that happens. I've seen that happen. So just be honest with yourselves too. Like, everybody, like, have I been a crazy pants, or have I been healthy pants? And I just assumed myself into this place of not doing anything at all when I haven't done anything at all. So no wonder why nothing's happened at all. So trust your loyal, intuitive insights. Divine inspiration comes in an instant. It was created to last beyond the infinite. So maybe you've already had these aha moments about yourself and about your beliefs and about the things. But if we don't fucking remind ourselves every day, if we don't make that our philosophy, these beliefs, if we don't make it like a religion, like every day I get up and I pray that today I'm not going to forget that fucking thing I learned about myself, that deep wound is blocking me and I need to do something about it. Because if I have the belief strong enough, I'll sabotage myself from doing something about it. And I'll never heal, because I'll just keep going and defaulting back every day over and over. So, there's that to be mindful of. Like, have a morning ritual that sets everybody off into the good day that they're wanting to manifest, rather than the day that they end up manifesting when they don't care for themselves, be compassionate for themselves, and show up to heal that wounded warrior inside. I just heard something, but I don't know what that was. Causes illusions. I'm highly guided, thank you. Asian beetle. Yeah, there's a motherfucking faker. I saw a stink bug yesterday in my place. Oh god. They come in like fucking, I don't know. Like, there hasn't been that many in a while, so I don't even want to say that. But they're like, I don't like them. They're slow and they're stupid. They're like, you're welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. How much? The readings are just based on like whatever people donate. Like, it's not like a set amount. It's more so those ones just take precedence. Like, I see those before I see the other people's, and I always end up doing it no matter how I say it. So I'm like, I might as well just let that be known. I have nerves, I have my partner and everything, but I feel comfy having money saved up. Yeah, me too. I need income to keep making my savings grow. Everywhere I work, there's toxic ladies that like to gossip, and I hate it even though I keep to myself. Yeah, probably because you probably feel like they're talking about you, especially if you keep to yourself, because if you keep to yourself, it's like, well, what are they laughing at? What are they talking about? What's their fucking secret about? And you probably feel that way, because I feel like a lot of the people who are sensitive or whatever, it's like you have that intuitive little inkling, because you're not dumb. Like, you just know what it is. And it's like, I don't need to be part of that conversation to know what they're doing. Or what they're saying or what they're thinking, because their eyes say it, their body language says it, their fucking demeanor says it, and it sucks, and that's why I don't like going out there. I'm like, no, I hate it, because women are mean, but so everybody can be, but we can also bring it on ourselves too. Like, sometimes we can make ourselves in that position out of a fact that we've already been in that position before. Like, somebody already treated me that way, so now when I go to this place, I'm expecting it from this group of ladies, so I start behaving in a way that's going to make this group of ladies look at me and be like, what the fuck's up with her? Why doesn't she ever talk to us? Was she too good for us? And blah, 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 blah. So it becomes an insecure thing for them at first, but because there's so many of them, they team up together, and it's like a thing that just manifests. But I don't think it would always manifest that way if we had, because like when I've made an effort, usually like to communicate with others,
it's usually worked out better. Even if maybe you find like if you're only with one of them instead of all of them, they're better to you, or you are the walls are down or whatever. But I've been a manager for a lot of places that would rub people wrong because I was younger than them, but I was like in charge of them. But after a little while, they used to be. It was like they would realize like I'm not an asshole. Um, but then after a while, it's like it's I don't know. I feel like it just depends on your lessons and stuff too, or beliefs, or not beliefs necessarily, but like what has already happened. It's like you're just gonna set you up for more of that. It's like you get the mark on you. Um, Doo-doo-boo-boo. What's up, Speedy? Not much. What's up with you? I want to see, is there another question? Thank you, Bridget. Love you, sister. Thank you. I hope you're doing well tonight. Thank you. Yes, I'm doing okay. My feet fucking hurt, but that's just a normal part of my life now. Alright, so did anybody else have a question? Oh, Chris Nelson said he's open to receive, so I'll do one of those. I think I said on my fucking Instagram, I can't remember what I wrote. I wasn't on there, was I? How did that happen? Where am I? Uh-oh. What the fuck is going on? It says my thing is gone? Whatever. It's like automatically signed me into my other account. But if I sign into my other account, I can see my other account, so it's like it's not gone. I can fucking see it from here. But it's like there's no account that belongs to that number, so I don't know. Alright, so for Chris, there's some regrets and some radiant light. It's like your light is guiding me back, soul searching. I found what my heart is searching for. I pray that you'll forgive me. So somebody may have regrets, pray that for forgiveness, been soul searching and is trying to like find their way back. There could be impatience around this for yourself or them. There's unconditional love here too. So there could be hostility around this. I don't know. Maybe somebody may have done something that like really hurt, and now you could be like a little guarded about it, or they could be guarded about it, but they may want to surprise you. I feel like this is like until death does us until death do us part isn't enough. So it's like this person may have done something, and it's like maybe you felt like they treated you like you were naive, or they took advantage of you. They could have sabotaged things and made you feel like you looked like a fool, and they may have looked at it like I was just like taming things or whatever. I feel like there was like a mix of opinions. Like one person would have been like, you're being greedy, and the other person was like, no way, I was giving tons. It's just like not seeing eye to eye on it. There could have been codependencies within it, like, and sometimes when that's there, it's like we both feel like we did way more, or because nobody ever speaks up about what their fucking needs are, what their wants are, but they'll show up and people please until they break their breaking point, and then they're like, yeah, like, no, I did all that shit and you just took it all and you're an asshole for taking it all. But it's like, well, maybe I should have said something that like I wasn't enjoying what I was giving or enjoying what they were asking for, and I was getting full of all this anger, so I started acting a little unhealthy or resentful and getting stuck in my beliefs to my weak breaking point. So this could be vice versa on either style, but I feel like it might have been a thing that was crossing, because if we have twins and we want to be real with ourselves, our twins are gonna fucking mirror us. So when they're doing something that we're all like up in arms about, there's usually somewhat of a mirror in it. Maybe not all the time, maybe not exactly, but usually yeah anyway, because it's like they disrespected me. Well, you must have disrespected yourself enough to let that happen. Like, or get to that point. Like there was something about what you were putting out and laying down that let that become the thing. And now they may be riddled with guilt and shame now that you let them know about it and things blew up and the imbalance like tipped to its breaking point. But you know, we should realize like they don't own all of that because we were just as much, you know, within stuff. Like a lot of times we put things, oh, I like this person a lot, so I'm gonna let them do all those things that I would never let anybody else do, especially the twin flame community. It's like, oh wow, like some of the stuff that I've heard people like get out, like ask or think was okay was like, no, like that's never, it's like a test here. It's a divine counterpart. Neither person is divine, you know, divine feminine, divine masculine. Everybody's like, oh, blah, blah. Neither one is divine or doing a whole lot of divine things in the beginning. And then as they go, they find their independence and their healing and their support systems, and they do the work, they break free. They may do a little bit more divine things, but they're still human and they're still suffering and struggling, and you know, they have their egos and their things that break when they're not confident. They make choices that need to usually heal and shift how we see, and we get depressed, and when we're depressed we can even act up in ways that we know aren't good. We don't feel beautiful, we don't feel inspired, and we feel bad about our decisions, and we think, oh, it's never going to work because of this, and it's never going to work because of that. How could they ever even fucking, you know, because especially if they're up on a pedestal, we will see them as out of our reach, and then we prove that to ourselves by acting hostile or doing silly things that we're like, why did I do that? I can't seem to do what's right. I can't seem to, you know, act in integrity to my emotions, because maybe I'm in love with you, but when you treat me like shit, it makes me feel mad and upset and all of these things. But when you show up, I don't show you that. I don't act that way. I just take it because I love you. So I let you treat me like shit, and then I want you to respect me and not treat me like shit, even though I just showed you that that's okay, and that I don't feel any type of way about it. And if I don't feel any type of way about it, how could you know that I didn't like it? Because I didn't say that. But on the flip side, they may not even look at what they did as anything bad. They may be like, they may think about it because you said something, but if you don't say the fullness of what you feel or explain your part of it or how you looked at it, then they may not even have a clue, because everybody's always lying to themselves or deceiving themselves. They're not always faithful 100% to the truth of their feelings, their emotions, their desires. We can be compassionate for each other. We can be, you know, showing up for everybody, but a lot of times we orphan each other or orphan ourselves. People will get into crazy marriages and stuff and not heal things that need to heal. We could have a fear or an obsession with things too, which neither one of those things are balanced and healthy. So if you know, sometimes we mistake love for obsession, or we mistake, you know, fear for something else. Like, and we can lie to ourselves, and we can like manipulate ourselves. Sometimes we know somebody's just not good for us, and that they're like, or they have all the signs of all the bad things, but we can look for like the one little loophole to deny that, and then on the other side of it, somebody could be great and awesome, but we won't allow ourselves to see that if there's something in us that doesn't want to, or doesn't feel like we're worthy of it, or that's possible or something. And then people get old versions of us stuck in them too. Somebody can see that you've changed and you've completely become a totally different person, but they could still hold another version of us in their mind and their thoughts and all of that. So they might need to catch up with the new version of us, but it's not always the easiest thing to do when that happens. But there is a despair here, I feel. So if you're feeling despair and regrets, if you feel like maybe you did some messing up, do you feel like I was a little obsessive, or I was a little weird, or I wasn't a little, like maybe I closed down, I didn't always say everything out loud, I didn't honor myself, maybe I got hostile and talked shit about the situation, wore a mask when I was with them because I didn't want to lose them. I grasped on because I loved them so much that I lied to myself and lied to them about how I was feeling, because it was easier in my mind to do that than it was to just like walk away or let them walk away, because what if they never came back, or what if whatever, until a breaking point usually hits, and then people have no choice but to fucking walk away, or somebody else usually walks away. But it takes time to relax and heal, and you know, get those things that are inside of us that are, not right, balanced. But the strength is there, and usually it will come out of desperation too. So it's like when you hit your rock bottom point within the levels of things, we usually bounce back up. Like, okay, I'm not going to go any lower than this. It's either going to be that I get healthy and find true love with another person, or I get healthy and allow this love to be the love that it is, and if it's meant to be. But if it's not meant to be, then it won't matter because I've healed all this shit to let it be. You did ask one? Okay, let me see. Sometimes they don't all come through. Oh, okay. Why does Jesse keep coming into my dreams? I had to get rid of him because he was toxic. All right, so I did say like a little bit ago about like the subconscious is our, a great place for our dreams, like our beliefs to come up, because we're not in resistance. So I would say it would be dependent on what is happening in the dream, because a lot of times the dreams are just like playing out, either something that's happening in the astral realm, something that we desire, or something that's like really like it could be haunting us. Like it's like he keeps murdering me, or it's like it's deep in there. Like I had recurring dreams when I was a kid, but now as an adult, I very rarely ever even remember a dream unless the twin is in it, and that's the only person I remember them for. So I would ask, like what is the context of the dream? Stop and look around. All you want will be found. As you collect your eggs in a basket, prepare yourself or blow a gasket. That's the April Fool's Day card and the spring card. I feel like when spring is sprung, something like I see these as like similar times. So April, spring, those to me are like the same time frames. So I feel like something's about to happen. It could be coming around freaking forgiveness. Maybe you need to forgive him to let that go. Everybody comes with lessons and blessings, and if we don't let go of the things that we are, angry about, upset about, like you said, he was bad, he was toxic, he didn't treat you well. So, like there could be some sort of childhood wounds or something within you that needs to heal. This could go all the way back to Atlantis. This person may have been a spouse at another time. There could have been wars and battles within the love life or just within the other lives that you lived. I know there was the galactic war for a lot of people. Authority figures may have also played a part. Finances may have played a part within stuff. Like, this person may have had you, like, imprisoned or just, like, some part of you has been, like, not able to break free from this. And I feel like it's more so on the lesson and blessing level. So if you did some, like, writing, like, write up, like, I now revoke this contract with this individual, blah, 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 blah. If you want to clear them and get them out of your mind, like, whatever contract that we have, whatever thing that we signed, wherever we've come from, wherever lives we've lived together, could have been Greco-Roman times. I feel like you could have even been this person's mother in another life. There could have even been communal living at some point. Like, maybe you lived with this person more than once. Like, at one point you were his mother. Another time you were, like, living in a communal type of thing. But I feel like you need to write as the high priestess and revoke the contract and get a dream catcher so that you can get rid of the dreams that are coming in that you don't want. But this has been part of your lessons and blessings. So you need to forgive, trust, know it's a karmic thing, and that you're the authority figure and you are valuable enough to heal this. And you have the wisdom within to not persecute or keep, reliving that thing with that person, in those dreams. It's like he keeps haunting you because you haven't, X'd out the thing on an energetic level. So you could even just close your eyes and imagine it too, like see yourself with him somewhere and have like a scroll or whatever that you both signed, and then like, null and void, X it out, tear it up, burn it, do whatever. But I feel like this could be from the time of Atlantis, and you may have even been the one that fucking wrote it as a high priestess. We were manipulated and lied to a lot at different times. You could have been a spiritual person at different points, and you may have been united with this person at different points on a fucking spiritual level that is deep, and it's hard to end those, but you can if you want to, you know, like nothing can't be, you know, worked with. Look at automatic writing again. They want you to write in order to shift this. You could even do a dream journal to like have deeper insight into the dream, like when you first wake up, write about what it was that was going on. But you are here to overcome and grow. You've agreed to come back here because you've helped with the ascension, and you've already done that. You're an energy healer, and this may be something that you're going to help other people with because of the writing part. Like you might need to write your experience and write up some sort of contract thing to make peace between these people, tell people how you found your peace, or how you broke the thing that was, you know, written all those years ago, so that the obstacles could be removed, and you know, invoke like the healing that needs to happen for people. I feel like there could have been unrequited love at one point within this too, and that may have been like causing for you guys to like tit for tat in every life. It was like one of you loved each other and the other one didn't, and then the next life it was like vice versa, because that's usually what happens when we have a karmic spouse or a karmic person. But I feel like in the Atlantean time, I feel like you wrote like a thing, like a vow or a spell, because you loved that person, and maybe you wanted them, maybe they were unrequited love, and you wanted them to love you so much that you kind of fucked yourself for the next couple of lives with that. Because it's like, careful what you wish for. Don't force anybody's free will, because that will not usually end up too well, and then you end up back and back and back and back with messed up stuff. But there's other reasons why these things play out in different levels and stuff, so it may not even have been that, but there's definitely something that was written at some point impacting you. It could have even been one of your mothers, because I keep seeing the mother card pop up. So if you had issues with his mother, or your own mother, or he has that, you know, I feel like that could be something. There could be orphanage tied into that. Maybe you were his mother in another life. That's where this battle comes from. And those vows are kind of bringing you a lot of lessons and blessings that you need to be aware of in this life. And then any day now, expect to be wowed. So if you want to have good things happen, just keep working on yourself, and then be in that, like, wow, tomorrow's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. Today was awesome. I'm so grateful for all that I had come to me. And again, if you're wondering, like, should I let them come back? Are they actually a good person? It says, honey, they're whack. It says they may be back, but honey, they're whack. So, you know, don't doubt yourself on the fact that, like, you told them to bounce, because I feel like sometimes we do that too. Yeah, I just got it again. They may be back, but honey, they're whack. Like they're saying, if you want that infinite abundance and that expansion and the good results that can come from doing our stuff, approach logic creatively, calm the raging sea, and become stress-free, which, again, I just split this back, and there it is again. That's the key to your abundance, is to, you know, get a balance within the mind and the emotions and all of that. A year from today, you'll be on your way, so you'll have cleared all of that stuff up from today, like a year from today. It's really like just simple things, as long as our intention is placed in stuff, and we want to call in protection whenever we do anything like energetic. Like, I always open the vortex or the sacred space. The newest blog on my website is 27 ways to, like, help you with your when you have the somebody send you the evil eye, but within it the prayer is there. The 4 directions prayer is there. There's a link to the video to open the vortex. If you've ever listened to any of the meditations that I've done, that you've heard me open the vortex, most likely, because most of them I do. And you can also call on, like, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, the I Am Presence. You can call on Saint Germain and the Violet Flame. You can call on a beautiful pillar of white light just to surround you and protect you from whatever is out there. And then, you know, like, ground it all the way down, all the way up into the light of source, so that it's like you are covered above and below on all sides. Nothing's going to get you. And then state your intention and, you know, visualize it. Usually we'll feel something clear too, like when it happens. Like when I cut cords for the first time, I almost went off the road because of how powerful it was. And I had been afraid of doing it in the past because I thought I would be like not being a good daughter or not being a nice person because I was like, my mother was sick in the hospital. I was working for this woman all the time. I lived with a freaking narcissistic asshole who was like making my life miserable. And I was just exhausted and drained, and I was like being pulled in all directions. So like I cut the cords, and I was like, ah, almost off the road because of how big it was. But light worker, naturally awakening, magic healer, lover, galactic past life, ascended master. So you have all you need to do it. You know, it's in there. Scribe, a natural ability to fucking heal through writing. Write, because you will get the answers, or just write the contract up in the new way that you want to do it. Give it a week, don't become weak. So if you do it, nothing happens like immediately, or you do something and it doesn't happen, be inspired. You know, like try to do it in a way that inspires you. Like what gets your, you know, having like an actual scroll with like paper that you can like tie, like not just like a ring binder fucking 3-hole punch thing that doesn't give you the feel of like an ancient document. He was using crystal. Oh God, I have 2 kids, so I told him to leave. Plus, he was sleeping around and gave me. Oh my God. Oh yes, that sounds perfect because I'm done with him. I want to be good and rid of him for good. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's. I'm sorry about that. Ixchel is a good one to call, and I just saw her name here. She's the one that works with the jaguar, and the jaguar eats away the energetic debris of our past relationships. She's a divine channel or healer, and she's like shamanic-y energy. But I think there's the shamanic one that I have on my other channel, the jaguar. I have the jaguar one. But there's another. Let's see. Divine Essentials. Divine Essentials. Playlist. Where am I? Munay Ki Meditations. There's the one that connects with all the animals. There's the Animals of the Munay Ki meditation. And then there is one specifically for the jaguar in this one. So even like listening to those, calling on that energy of the jaguar can help. I will comment it if it. I don't know if it's. Oh, it will because this is a channel I use for other stuff that nobody sees. Did it go through? Hello? What the hell is that? I don't know what's happening. Did it go in? I don't understand what's wrong with my phone. There it is. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I think I will. Let me make sure there's nobody. All right, yeah, I'm gonna do the meditation thing for ALCYONE Light Healing, and I gotta check my freaking Instagram thing and see what I said on that one, because I might have to do the thing on the other channel. But if I said it, I will be over there in a little bit. I can't remember what I wrote, but I still have to do the meditation for that. You've always loved jaguars. Awesome sauce. They're good for their sacral and relationship. Like, she cuts through the bullshit. She doesn't take anybody's shit. She knows the way across the Rainbow Bridge. She's a healer. She's a lover. But yeah, I'm gonna go check on my Instagram, make sure I can still access it and all of that, and then I'm either gonna do the meditation for ALCYONE Light Healing or do a couple of readings over there because I can't remember what I wrote on the post that I put up. But thank you guys. I'm gonna do more of these soon too. Trying to get back into the flow of like putting things out there so people know that I'm not like dead and I still am alive. I don't have private readings open right now, but I will as soon as I'm done with my stuff that I'm doing. Like, I've been trying to get things posted that I've had forever, just don't have any help, and it's hard to do everything by yourselves. And then sometimes I'm dying in pain, so it's even harder to do things by myself, but getting better. So thank you guys. Good to see you. And I will be back soon. In Munay Namaste.